Hi everyone, I am Janelle and welcome to my channel, Life in Bloom. I figured I would start off this brand new channel with a little story time. So it is the top of 2022 and right now all over social media everyone is doing the 10-year challenge. However, me being me and not wanting to do things the way how everyone else does it, I'm like, I'm gonna do a story time, like a video story time, because truly putting two pictures next to one another is not going to really give the full picture of what the past 10 years have been like. I also feel like it's the perfect way to kick off this new channel because it will give you some insight into who I am and why I am the way that I am now, and will just make the journey that we are about to go on even sweeter because you'll have like the backstory, right? So yeah, welcome. So we're gonna go deep, like first video, welcome. Okay, so let's kick things off. This is like a mirage thing. Kids, guys, quiet down a little. Thanks. Okay, so just imagine there's like a mirage thing and we're going back in time. Okay, so the year is now 2012. And I am coming off of the worst year of my life. So I'm actually going to take you back a little bit. I'm going to take you to 2011. So at the top of 2011, my husband and I found out that I was pregnant with our first child, who ended up being a girl, and we named her Jolie. And that's what we were like really excited about. We'd been married for, I don't know, maybe like 2 years at that point. So we were super excited. However, that summer, Jolie ended up being born prematurely and ended up passing away the night that she was born. So she was born earlier in the day, passed away by nighttime, and that was obviously very devastating for us, and it sent me into a really, really dark place. And in addition to navigating that, so that was in the summer, and I had taken some time off work, and just because I had to. But anyway, so by Christmas, right before Christmas, I should say, in addition to, just all the emotional and mental things that we were going through from the loss of our daughter, both my husband and I ended up losing our jobs. So in the space of a couple months, we have lost our first child and our jobs. So we are childless and jobless. It was not a good time, okay? So here we are now at the top of 2012, and we are just looking at each other like, what do we do? Life is terrible, and bad things keep happening to us. What is going on? So we were living in New York at the time, and of course, we're going through all of these things. So my mom, who was down in Florida, which is where I live now, but she was in a different part of Florida at the time. Anyway, doesn't matter. So anyway, she's like, look, you guys are going through a lot. If you want, you can come down. You don't have to like figure it all out. Just come. I'll take care of you, help you all to just go through the healing process, whatever. So this time, 10 years ago, we were putting our tail between our legs and going, leaving New York to start our lives completely over in Florida. I got tired of being home, so I ended up getting a little job somewhere that paid like $9 an hour or something like that, which, I was just grateful. I was like, thankfully I don't have any bills. I live at home right now, but, at the same time I was kind of like, damn, because, I've always been very entrepreneurial. I'm Jamaican too, so I'm used to having like several streams of income, whether I have several jobs or I have my job and I have a side hustle or three, you know? So it was like, in a way, I'm like, yes, I don't have bills, but like when that check would hit, I'd be like, damn, like I really should have just stayed home and watched Mari. But anyway, so that's where I was 10 years ago. Really, um, at rock bottom, emotionally, mentally, financially, just trying to figure myself out, trying to remember who I was, but then realizing that I couldn't go back to who I was because you just can't after experiencing something like that. You don't go back to who you are. It's literally you trying to figure out who you are now in the present and who you are deciding to be in the future. And that's where I was. Trying to rebuild my faith, rebuild my self-esteem, my confidence. I mean, was right? Um, so at the time, I was 24, turning 25. So right now, I'm 34, turning 35. My birthday's in April, so I decided for my birthday that year that my gift to myself was going to be getting saved and giving my life to the Lord, because like the only place that I could find some peace in this dark space I was in this space of grieving, was church. So I decided that's what I was going to do. So we go get baptized down at Fort Lauderdale Beach. Um, the waves were ridiculous, and our pastor was like, y'all, it's not the devil, it's literally like, this is just the weather for today, like everybody relax, because you know, like when you are churchy, sometimes you can get a little too churchy, and it's like everything that happens, it's like, oh my god, the devil. And he's like, y'all relax, it's the season we're in, okay? So anyway, almost drowned down at the beach, but anyway, I make it, right? And as I'm leaving the beach, I go over to my pastor, and I'm telling him thank you. And I will never forget. He held on to me, and it was like I felt this like electricity in my body, right? And he goes, "You're ready for your baby now." I was like, "Sir, all right, cool, you know, all right." Because at the time, honestly, I wasn't really trying to hear that. I wanted my baby back that died. I'm like, a new baby, that's cool, I guess. But, like, my heart is grieving for the child that I lost. Anywho, I leave the beach. I tell my husband what happened, and he's like, cool. And around that Mother's Day, I found out I was pregnant. With who is now my oldest son, who is 8, about to turn 9, which is like blowing my mind. Geez. Yeah. And so I ended up not working anymore because I had just a ridiculous amount of appointments. Like when I am pregnant now, it is a production because I'm considered high risk, and even with that particular pregnancy with my oldest, there was just a lot going on. I was in and out of the hospital a lot. It was just a lot. So basically, 10 years ago, I was rebuilding myself in many different ways, and getting ready for motherhood in a different way than what I had experienced it to be. Like I remember even being pregnant for longer than I was with my daughter and being like, oh my god, this is the most exciting thing ever. I've never been this pregnant. Because again, she was born prematurely. So 10 years ago was about rebuilding my life, myself, redefining our marriage, all those different things. It was a very challenging time. And although I was pregnant, I was still grieving, which was really hard. Just a really challenging space to be in. So I was also in therapy on and off. I'm excited about this new baby, but I'm still grieving, our our daughter who had died. And then I'm still like, dang, like I don't have anything going on, because again, I'm so used to like, you know, making things happen. I've always been a big dreamer. Always felt like I was here to do something amazing. And then part of me was just like, it felt like a lot of that died with my daughter. Like I just didn't know what was up from down. But then it was like I had to make sure that I was managing my emotions and stress so that I could safely get my son here. And he is here safely, and you've probably heard him because, no one cares that I'm recording and then I ask them to be quiet. It doesn't really matter. But, it's fine. So here we are now, 10 years later, and my life is a complete contrast than it was 10 years ago. So 10 years ago, I didn't really live nowhere. I mean, well, I live with my mom, but like I didn't have my own place anymore. I wasn't working. I wanted to, have some kind of business going. I couldn't even remember what I'd like to do. I was hoping and praying that my son was going to get here safely because I had PTSD. So just even navigating being pregnant after loss was a lot. There were a lot of times I didn't know if he would actually safely make it here. So I was just mentally in a different place, financially in a different place, everything in a different place. So now here we are, it's 2022, and we're now going into the second week of the year. And I'm not living with my mom anymore. Although I truly appreciated her for, stepping in and offering us the opportunity to rebuild, because a lot of parents think that once you turn 18, it's like, you're on your own, you'll figure it out. But like my parents are absolutely amazing. And I mean, just so many people supported us through that time. But so here we are 10 years from now. I am now sitting in my own home, which we have owned for, I don't even know, maybe like 4 years. We are also currently under contract for our second home. So 10 years ago, we had no home. And now we're about to own our second, which is amazing. Career-wise, I now have a business like what I've always dreamed of having. And it's a very successful business. And, we're out here doing multiple six figures and stuff like that, And not only do I have my son who's about to turn 9, but I also have a 5-year-old. So I now have 2 boys. My husband and I are still very much married. And now we are celebrating, or we just celebrated 12 years of marriage. So this year we'll actually be celebrating our 13th year of marriage. And life just looks completely different. And I really wish that I could go back in time and maybe I did, because I was going to say I wish I could go back in time and tell myself like it's going to be okay. But as I said that, the truth of the matter is that like, though my life was a complete contrast than what I truly desired, I've always felt like somehow it was just going to come together. And so the biggest lesson that I have learned over these last 10 years is to keep the faith and the vision of what you truly desire, no matter how different your present looks. Okay? So if right now, your desire is to be wealthy and you are, where I was 10 years ago, it doesn't matter where you are right now. Where you are at this moment has no bearing on what can happen tomorrow, right? Or what can happen in a year, 3 months even, 2 weeks, the next day, 10 years from now, right? Because what it really is about is, again, keeping the faith, holding the vision, and just every day putting one foot in front of the other. Because all of a sudden one day you look up and you are in the middle of your prayer that you prayed for, that you were like begging for sometimes. You know what I mean? That you thought was, oh my gosh, is this even possible? Because my life just does not reflect, you know, where I truly desire to be, or even who I know myself to be, right? But one day you look up and you're going to be in the middle of it. And I am proof of that. And I know so many people um, who are proof of that. And even for you, even if life isn't together, whatever that means, you're still in the middle of something that you once prayed for, right? And so my reason in starting this channel is because I really truly believe that we can have it all. And I'm all about like sharing how to make it happen. Let me say though, having it all and whatever that means for you doesn't mean that you're never going to have challenges in life. It doesn't mean that like some days you're not going to hurt, some days you're not going to be disappointed, that you're not going to face any kind of challenge of any sort. That is not what's going to happen, okay? And then also, having it all looks different for everyone, right? Because what I desire is different than what you desire, and your friend desires something different than you do, and you know, and so forth. We all have different images in our that we hold in our minds of what having it all looks like for us. But no matter what it is, my hope for you is for you to have it. So here on this channel, I will be, you know, just sharing more of my story, yes, and having these like story times with you, but also sharing a lot of advice and tidbits that I share with my clients, because my purpose with the clients that I serve is literally helping them to understand why their soul incarnated into this lifetime, you know, what their soul is here to accomplish both personally and professionally, so that they can feel just joy and fulfillment, and then providing them with a roadmap on how to get there. So this is going to be like a mini version of that. So we're going to journey together. You're going to learn some stuff. And it's not going to always be super serious, because, you know, you can probably tell I'm just, no. I like to laugh. I like to be silly. You know, we're going to hang out. But if you are into all things authenticity, you're into all things abundance, you're into all things affluence, fulfillment, joy, then I really believe that you are going to enjoy your time here with me. So, I hope you enjoyed my little story time on the past 10 years. If you did, go ahead and like and subscribe, because, again, this is just the beginning, but I just thought this would be a cool way to start. So I have lots more videos coming. I'm really excited to have you here, and really excited to see how the year unfolds, because I have been wanting to start a new YouTube channel for a minute. And for the last couple of years, I'll like, you know, make it one of my New Year's goals. Like, I'm going to start recording, and I do, and then I never end up editing and actually starting the channel. So I just have like a bunch of stuff, you know, just sitting around. But this year we are not doing that, okay? We are not. So I'm excited to see where we all are this time next year. And I'm excited to get to know one another. So let me know how you enjoyed this, and let me know about your last 10 years. Where were you 10 years ago? And where are you now? And where do you desire to be 10 years from now? What is the vision, so that I can help you to hold it? Because all you need is one person to believe in your dream, and that alone just makes it possible. So I can't wait to hear from you. I'll see you at the next video. Bye.